What's up? Can we talk about the month of November, y'all? It is the month of the leading lady. So many movies coming out this month with women in the lead. It's interesting. Anyways, you got your own popcorn money? Because I'm not sharing with you. Let's go to the movies. All right, let's talk about it. So that was Priscilla, directed by Sofia Coppola, stars Kaylee Spaney and Jacob Elordi. Where to begin with this one? If my voice sounds funky, I'm fighting a cold. Sofia Coppola is an interesting director. She's had a few movies sprinkled, from the late 90s up until now. Marie Antoinette, Somewhere, but Virgin Suicides. That's the first thing that pops in my head whenever I hear the name Sofia Coppola. Her movies are... She doesn't make motion pictures. She makes motion portraits. The way she establishes shots, it's very much like she's setting up a portrait and she brings it to life. Her scenes are often very disconnected. It's like we get little moments and then she finds a way to kind of string it together. Sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. In this movie, it kind of works. So this is Priscilla, right? So this is the movie about Priscilla Presley based on her memoir, Elvis and Me. Now, the movie that came out last summer, Baz Luhrmann's Elvis, Austin Butler, and all that jazz, it's interesting having watched that movie first and then watching this. Not to compare the two. I don't feel like there's a comparison. We're talking about two completely different cinematic styles here. However, it's so interesting because it's the same story, two completely different perspectives. I just find it very interesting. This is the second Elvis movie, within 2 years. And we're still not getting his story from his perspective. Granted, she has a right to tell her story. Don't get me wrong. I just think it's so interesting. It's very reminiscent of his life. He didn't get to live the life that he really wanted to live. He was always living his life according to somebody else's plans. The movie Elvis, Baz Luhrmann's Elvis, is from the Colonel's perspective. It's Elvis' story through his eyes. And then this movie is Priscilla Presley's story, her relationship with him. Now let's go ahead and just address the elephant in the room. Yes, she was 14 years old when they met. She did go to live with him when she was like 16 or 17, graduated, and they got married some years after. You can be mad, scream, shout, be like, oh my God, like, why are we romanticizing stories like this? It's been romanticized, homie. It happened. This happened. You can't go back in time and change it. And good golly grief, it's about time the woman told her story. This movie was like watching a dream, just these moments, these disconnected moments that string together to tell one complete story. And I've talked about this before in a negative sense, movies being episodic, where you have just moments kind of plastered in the movie, but there's nothing connecting them, no connective tissue. Kind of sort of what's happening here, because you have these moments that kind of jump from one thing to the next. There's no like linear narrative, so to speak. It's very disconnected moments, but what connects these moments is her. What I thought was so interesting, we're not going to learn anything new. This movie's not going to tell you anything that you didn't already know about Elvis. But what we do get that's new is her response, her reaction, the way she felt about these moments. There's one scene in particular where she's sitting at a table. It's right after she's moved to Memphis. She's like 17 years old. Elvis has come home from like a tour or making a movie, something or other. And she's sitting at a table and all we have is just her face, front and center, while everything is kind of going on around her. And we just see her, making facial expressions, trying her hardest to kind of fit into the situation. Award predictions for this movie? I don't know. I feel like you could probably put Kaylee Spaney on the short list for Best Actress. I'm not sure she'd make that like top 5, but she's definitely on a short list. But I would throw this movie in the ring for cinematography, though. Oh, the photography is gorgeous. Beautiful colors, beautiful shots, very intentional, but I expect nothing less from Sofia Coppola. You never forget how young she is. It's a constant reminder throughout the entire film just how young and inexperienced she is, how she doesn't quite know who she is. She's still trying to figure it out, yet she's in love with this man. The one constant reminder is the height difference. In real life, Elvis was 6 foot. Priscilla Presley is 5'4". Jacob Elordi, who plays Elvis, is 6'5". Kaylee Spaney is like 4'11". She's in heels for a good chunk of the movie, but that doesn't really make a difference. You can't help but notice and visually see the power imbalance. I want to watch that again, though. I could study that. If you are a casual moviegoer, I don't know if you'll like this. If you're someone who needs to be entertained, you're not going to like this. This is going to move a little too slow for you. It's very quiet. It's a moving portrait. But yeah, I like that.